So, each of the 12 zodiac signs has a zodiac sign that is its direct polar opposite. What does this all mean and how does it relate to you ask? Well, let's talk about it. But before we talk about it, I want to introduce myself if you are a first-time watcher. I am Lamar Townsend. I'm a natural intuitive, clairvoyant, clairaudient, empathic, psychic tarot reader. And I thank you for listening and watching this video. Please like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, check out the rest of my videos, like me on Facebook, facebook.com/Lamar Townsend Official. Follow me on Instagram at Lamar Townsend, and also check out my website, lamartownsendtarot.com, where you can purchase your own personal, private, confidential tarot reading. My personal, private, confidential tarot video readings are $1 per minute, but I also provide birth chart readings. For your birth chart video reading, I will need to know the month, day, and year that you were born. And if you know the time and place that you were born, that will be super beneficial to give you a majorly accurate, detailed birth chart reading. So I would love to read for you or read your birth chart. With that being said, let's get into these polar opposite zodiac signs. So each zodiac sign has a polar opposite zodiac sign, and it's usually of a completely different element. Now the two groups of elements that go together are earth and water and air and fire. And it's interesting because earth and water can, if we think of it in literal terms, it can be made to make mud. Mud can be super beneficial for many different reasons, but one thing about mud is that it can either be really like sturdy, like, almost indestructible, or it can just kind of, once, water hits it, it can like kind of crumble back down to earth, and break apart into two once again. So with fire and air, it's interesting because air can be fuel to flame fire, but at the same time it's interesting because without air there is no fire. So it's like the two need each other, but it's almost like it can be too much at the same time. Now, while there's definitely, a polar opposite effect here with these signs, meaning that they can either go to extremes or they can somehow find a balance, like a medium, a yin and yang type of situation, which is the most beneficial type of situation for polar opposite signs. But at the same time, because they're such polar opposites, they can once again go to both extremes, but like because they're polar opposites, their extremes are on completely different spectrums, like on different sides of the spectrum. The interesting thing about polar opposite signs is that they can actually learn a lot from each other, and these types of relationships can actually thrive. It may take a lot of work and understanding and patience, but there's a lot to be said and a lot to be learned from these types of relationships, or friendships even. Aries and Libra are two polar opposite signs. Now here we have that air and fire quality that I was talking about. Aries, a cardinal fire sign, is, an initiator, someone who takes action, someone who can be aggressive and very individualistic and sticks to their own ideals and morals. Libra, a cardinal air sign, is someone who is compassionate, peaceful, harmonious, someone who likes to go along to get along, someone who likes to get along with other people and likes to really fit in, and you can kind of be a chameleon to almost to a fault, to kind of blend in with different types of people. Now it's interesting because Aries can be attracted to Libra's sense of refinement, sense of sophistication, and just their overall essence, and their beauty. Libra can be attracted to Aries' kind of aggressive side, usually, because Libras tend to not be very aggressive. They can be, depending on what all is in their chart, but Libras tend to be very just mellow people. Libras tend to be very attracted to, the kind of aggressive side of Aries, the individualistic side of Aries, the part of Aries that is very spontaneous and rash and makes quick decisions and sticks to them. Now, it's interesting because these two signs can also learn a lot from each other, where Libra has a tendency to kind of sacrifice parts of themselves to fit in with other people. Aries is the complete opposite, meaning Aries is not going to sacrifice any part of themselves for anyone. If you don't like Aries, if you don't appreciate Aries for who they are, well, they don't need you. They're the type of people that will say, F you, I don't care what you think of me. And you know what I'm saying? On the same type of frame, Libra can learn to be more of an individualistic sign, and Aries can learn to be more of a kind of compassionate and understanding and more maybe mellow type of sign as well. There is a lot to be said for these two signs in terms of self-awareness, and Libra becoming self-aware of themselves, of him or herself, and Aries becoming self-aware of the people around them and their feelings. You know what I'm saying? This is the lessons where these two signs can learn from each other, but of course there's a lot more to be said for these two signs. Gemini and Sagittarius are another pair of polar opposite signs. Here we have once again that air and fire element going on. Gemini is an air sign that seeks to learn a little bit about a lot of things. It's a very communicative and intelligent sign. They're ruled by Mercury. Sagittarius is a fire sign that seeks to learn the truth about everything, and they are ruled by the planet Jupiter. So, whereas Gemini seeks to learn a little bit about a lot of things, they tend to be kind of surface level. They don't tend to always look at the truth or beneath the surface of things or situations. It's almost like as if things look a certain way on the outside, then it's like Gemini believes that things must be the same way on the inside. You know what I'm saying? But whereas Sagittarius seeks the truth in all situations. So Sagittarius is like the kind of like constructive critic, or the critical critic, or the critical thinking person. It's like, question everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? Seek the truth in everything. Seek the truth in all situations. Just because things look a certain way on the outside doesn't mean that that's what's going on in the inside. But Sagittarius can sometimes tend to put themselves in a soapbox, and Gemini kind of has a way of letting Sagittarius know that, hey, like, we get what you're saying, we understand, and thank you for providing that truth, that surface, beneath the surface level, information, but, can you please get off that soapbox and get back down here with us, and, just stop being so out there. You know what I'm saying? These two signs it's like, once again, the flame fueling the fire. It's like, the air can fuel the fire, or the air can take out the fire. So it's like Gemini has, because these two are very communicative people, these types of relationships or friendships can be very, very chatty, very, back and forth, or it's like, once again, it's like that communication comes in. It's communication that's really important for these two. It's talking things out and not trying to get the last word in, not trying to be right, not trying to be better, be smarter than the other person. You know what I'm saying? It's like compassion and understanding is where these two can really thrive in communication and make this relationship and this friendship or what so have you work. Aquarius and Leo are another pair of polar opposite air and fire signs. Now, Aquarius is an air sign that seeks to serve humanity at large. It's a very social sign, and they thrive in groups. Leo is a fire sign that seeks to serve humanity, but kind of on a smaller scale, meaning people that they can actually affect, people whose lives they can actually affect, meaning like their family, their friends, the people around them, the people close to them. Leo also knows the benefit of self-serving, and Leos can sometimes be a bit egocentric, so in a group they can sometimes have the tendency to stand out, to make themselves stand out from the group. And this can sometimes maybe annoy Aquarius, because Aquarius can sometimes lose themselves in a group. So actually, haters or secret, fans in disguise. So Aquarius is actually, you know, where they kind of like, oh my gosh, Leo needs to be the center of attention. They're actually saying, oh my gosh, I love that Leo, you know, has the confidence to be themselves and attract attention and know what to do with that attention and not get so big-headed. Sometimes Leo can get a little bit big-headed in their extreme side and very egocentric. But a balanced Leo, a yin and yang Leo, takes that attention that they get and knows what to do with it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's like Aquarius can learn from Leo how to be more self-confident and how to kind of stand out in groups and not kind of wilter and bend to the group's wants and needs. And Leo can learn from Aquarius how to kind of loosen up, become a bit warmer, and maybe blend in with the group and not have to take such a leadership role all the time. Because there's benefits of both sides. There's benefits to being a leader, of course, but there's also benefits of kind of mingling with the common folks, so to speak, as well, and you know, knowing, you know, and being able to revert back to being a leader and being, you know, among the followers or what so have you. Taurus and Scorpio are another pair of polar opposite zodiac signs. Now here we have that earth and water element going on here. Taurus is an earth sign that is very materialistic, and they seek beauty in all things and people and surroundings for them. Taurus is a very sensual sign as well. Scorpio is a sexual sign more so than sensual, and they are a type of sign that seeks the truth in all situations and people. They are very underneath the surface type of people, whereas Taurus can tend to be surface level. Scorpio seeks beauty in people in situations as well, but Scorpio is the type of person whereas if the thing behind that beauty, if what's behind that beauty, what's inside that person or thing isn't as beautiful as the outside, meaning the surface, meaning, you know, how things look on the outside, if things aren't as beautiful on the inside, then that thing, person, what so have you, isn't going to be beautiful to a Scorpio. Because Scorpio needs to know that the beauty on the inside is just as beautiful as the beauty on the outside. Taurus can be a kind of surface level type of beauty person. So Taurus can teach Scorpio how to make their surroundings more cohesive to their inner selves. Scorpio is the type of person that can have a very, sometimes maybe chaotic inner self, or an inner self that is totally different from their external surroundings, and, you know, isn't cohesive actually to their external surroundings. Scorpio can teach Taurus how to become more discerning and seek the truth behind all surface level things and people, you know, to seek the truth, to seek the information beneath the surface, you know, because there is hidden knowledge beneath the surface, and Scorpio knows this. These two signs can learn a lot from each other. One thing that Scorpio can get Taurus to do is to go out more, actually. Taurus can sometimes be a homebody, because Tauruses are just so good at creating their surroundings and their home to fit their inner selves. So it's like, why do I need to leave when this is so comfortable? But Scorpio is the type of person that doesn't like to be so comfortable all the time. They like to get out and party and go have fun every now and then and spice up that routine that Taurus can sometimes find themselves in. Virgo and Pisces are another pair of earth and water signs that are polar opposites. Now, Virgo is an earth sign that is very analytical, very organizing, and very detail oriented. So they are able to break down the bigger picture into small pieces so that they can understand it better. Pisces is a zodiac sign, a water zodiac sign that's very intuitive, very spiritual, able to see the bigger picture. They're visionaries. But one thing that Pisces can sometimes miss the mark on is the details, you know, whereas Virgo can miss the mark on the bigger picture. Also, Virgos tend to be very analytical people, more so than intuitive people. So, once again, things have to make sense to a Virgo. If things don't make sense, then, you know, a Virgo is just not going to understand what's going on. You know what I'm saying? A Virgo needs answers. A Virgo needs understanding. But a Pisces knows that, you know, intuition doesn't always need understanding. Intuition is God. Intuition is spirit telling you truth, feeding you information. So it's like sometimes things don't need to make sense, you know. for a Pisces, but for a Virgo, things always need to make sense. So this is sometimes where they can butt heads. But one thing about this relationship is that Pisces can teach Virgo about intuition and the importance and the value of intuition, and Virgo can teach Pisces about the importance and the value of analyzing things and breaking them down into, you know, little parts and seeing the details of situations. I mean, these two signs can learn a lot from each other, but they can also get on each other's nerves, like, you know. And last but certainly not least are Capricorn and Cancer. Capricorn and Cancer are another pair of earth and water signs that are polar opposites. Capricorn is an earth sign that is very hardworking and can tend to be unemotional. Capricorns can sometimes see emotions as a hindrance to their goals. Cancer is a water sign that loves to be at home more so than at work and likes to spend time with their families, and they're very sensitive and intuitive and compassionate people as well. Very emotional. Cancer can teach Capricorn the benefits of emotions and vulnerability, and can teach them the value of being vulnerable, and how being vulnerable can help you actually further your goals. Capricorn, on the flip side, can teach Cancer to be more ambitious and assertive in their goals. These two signs can learn a lot from each other, but they can also be, once again, polar opposites, very extreme. Capricorn can be a hard nut to crack, can, you know, just be very unemotional and not good with emotions and not good at opening up to people. And Cancer is the type of person that likes that. They like to open up to people, but they need someone who's receptive to that type of energy. If Capricorn is going to be closed off, then it's going to be difficult for a Cancer to be open and feel comfortable in a Capricorn's presence if a Capricorn isn't willing to be at least a little bit vulnerable and emotional. So these two signs can learn a lot from each other in terms of emotions and how to apply them in a beneficial and productive way. And these are the 12 zodiac signs and their polar opposites. So I thank you so much for listening and watching this video, and I hope you got something out of it, and I hope you learned something about your polar opposite sign and why you either love them or hate them. Alright, thank you so much for listening. Check out my website, lamartownsendtarot.com, where you can purchase your own personal private confidential tarot reading or your own birth chart reading, or just visit my website to learn more about me. Okay, thank you guys, and subscribe and like this video. I'll catch you next time.